We were talking about advertising, promotion, and I think there was a comment mentioned that the paid advertising really wasn't paying off, and I agree with that. I've spent money on advertising for years at our market, and I think this year, I don't have the numbers right on the top of my head, but our budget probably less than 0.5% of our whole budget. The way to promote your market, I find, is to pick your project, pick your goal, organize your people so that they're in tune with that goal, and as you develop that, promote that within the organizations in your community that support it. In line with that, Gordon and I are currently working on a project to take that to another level with creating what we call community connectors. People to go out into the community and connect with organizations and institutions that support the market because it supports their goals. Things like health, education, the environment, the arts community. We're building a facility that will have lots of capacity. So to actually engage in a program that develops relationships with all the organizations that can benefit from that will build our customer base. And they will promote the market on a word-of-mouth basis and a public service basis that is driven by them and by their agendas and the community. And the market becomes a focal point for that activity, creating business for our vendors. And that's something that quite often gets lost when you start to talk about building relationships with other organizations. It's about the business. If the market doesn't make money for its vendors, it doesn't exist. That's what it's about. So we need to balance those kinds of things. I think that those are the sort of the key things that we need to focus on in keeping it local, personal, and direct, connecting with the community, and using those things to be part of our promotions and advertising. But it's not necessarily driven by the typical model of competing with the grocery store for this week's best price in the flyer. Not really the way to promote, I don't think. On the communication side of things, the communicative network, I've got to say I've been a bit lax on that. I think I only participated in one teleconference. And I think that's an area that I need to focus on in our market, and I think I picked up on that from a few other folks, that getting the message out to the vendors in each market about what we do and why we do it and how we do it will strengthen the organization. If we get buy-in deeper into the market, it's not just at the board level but at the individual vendor level. I think key to that, and this was brought up by a couple of people also, was the information that goes out to that level needs to be brief, specific, and targeted to specific projects or a specific goal. The mindset of the typical vendor, they don't really want to know or really care about sort of the structure of how these things. We know how it works and how it needs to work, because that's the interface with a lot of government organizations and departments. They, how are you organized? How does this work? What's the line of communications? What's, all that sort of stuff. The vendor wants to know, what's it going to do for me? How does that work? What do I have to do? What's the goal? Boom, 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 and get them engaged. That's key, I think, to taking the organization deeper into our membership base.